Happy Monday, everybody. I am DJ Riley, one of the hosts from Boys on the Bench. And hopefully you're having a good Monday so far. Hopefully you came off of a great weekend, a great Mother's Day. Hopefully you did your due diligence in telling everyone happy Mother's Day that you needed to and you didn't forget. And that kind of gave you the good luck that we needed today. So anyways, what we're looking for today, I'm giving you 3 MLB picks using the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer tool. But before we jump into that, guys, I just wanted to tell you really how well that this tool is working for me. Because if we look over here at my Twitter account, you can see that I've had pretty big cashes on here. And it's really on CS2, really all these esport plays, because this play here was a 10x play, had these 5 plays hit for me. And again, I know nothing about esports. Really, all that I'm doing is looking at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer tool and posting these. Also, if you're not following me on X, make sure you're doing that. DJ_boys OTB. That is also linked in the description below, so make sure you're checking that out. I have another play here. I had a 2x multiplier here recently, had this one guy hit. He had 33, needed him to have 32, so very close to another 10x play here as well. Also, you can see here, if you were following along last night, if you were looking, I posted that there were a lot of plays, right? Daily Grind Fantasy was popping off on these CS2 plays. There was at least 2 data points, 11 plays at 55% odds to hit. Whenever we're making these 5-6 leg slips, we're really looking at that 54.3 and average odds of 54.3. So considering that all of these were above 55 was absolutely crazy. So if you're not using Daily Grind Fantasy, make sure you sign up. I have a link here. You can use the code BENCH for 25% off of your first month. I've also went ahead and dropped 2 of these slips in here. Some of these have already started by the time this is dropping, but guys, I'm telling you, go ahead, make sure you're following me on here, subscribing to this channel, trying to get the best bets that you can. Positive EV is the best way to be betting on these sports. But as I mentioned earlier, I do have 3 picks for you over here on PrizePicks. We're going to be looking at Joey Loperfido, Ryan Mountcastle, and Michael Busch, right? Looking at these 3 plays, seeing what Daily Grind Fantasy is giving us, but then also looking at the historical data that we have for them. So if you have these 3 plays and you're looking to build a bigger layout, then make sure you kind of include these 3 plays in there as well, because you're getting pretty decent odds in terms of positive EV. Now, looking here at PrizePicks, we can see this Joey play here is over 0.5 total bases. That's what we are looking at. We will be taking the over on him here today. And let's go ahead and look at what the sportsbooks are giving us, right? We see several sportsbooks coming in at minus 140, minus 140, minus 140, and then as low as minus 133. But what we are getting on PrizePicks is minus 119. So we're having an average odds of minus 140. So really we're getting 21 difference in their juice lines, which is why we're getting a roughly 54% odds to hit, because there's so much variance in this play alone. So if we look at what we're getting from Outlier, we can see here that really over his last 5, he's been doing really well, right? He's had hits in 3 straight games, or 3 total bases in his last game, and then 3 hits in his last 3, right? So looking at who he's facing, Ross Stripling, ERA, not a very good pitcher versus left-handed batters, coming in at 4.45. Batting average allowed is at 352 versus left-handed batters, where we really see him doing very, very well versus right-handed pitching. We can see him coming in at 304 versus right-handed pitchers here. So again, very solid play here. The market sees that they're all favoriting the over, whereas PrizePicks is just setting that line at 0.5 total bases. So make sure you're taking advantage of that play there. But let's go ahead and look at the next play that I had for you, and that was that Ryan Mountcastle, looking at the 1.5 total bases that I have for you. So if you go back over here to Daily Grind Fantasy, it is the very next play, and it is saying to take the under. The reason that it's saying to take the under, again, is we have roughly 5 books coming in at minus 135, minus 136, minus 137. All of these kind of agree on the exact same line, whereas PrizePicks is coming in at minus 119 again. Flip is kind of the outlier play here at that minus 150, but again, we're getting average odds of minus 138 on this play. So if we go back over here to PrizePicks, we go ahead and hit the under there on that play, look at outlier and see what we're getting. We immediately see that Ryan Mountcastle has really been quite dominant here. He has hit 5 out of his last 10 on the unders, 2 out of his last 2 out of his last 3. It was really this 5-11 game versus Arizona where we really seen him have a pretty well game. Now, if we look here, he is facing Jose Barrios, which he has not done well here versus him throughout his career, or at least since 2018 is what Outlier goes all the way back to. 19 possible attempts. He's only had 2 hits. Both of those hits were extra base hits, which would give him the over on that. But again, overall, he has not done really well versus them. Now, Ryan Mountcastle versus right-handed pitchers, he's a 274 average, which is slightly below what his 2024 average is. So he does slightly better versus left-handed pitchers, but again, pretty even split, honestly. Batting average for balls in play, pretty decent at 338. But we can see here, Jose Berrios is doing really well versus right-handed batters. Coming in with a 2.05 ERA, but then also a 277 batting average. So again, very well. Ryan Mountcastle has not done too well at all. And again, all of the books are really realizing this. They have such more data that we had ever imagined to, and that's how they're creating these lines, and that's why there's so much variance, right? So go ahead and take advantage of that. Make sure we are grabbing Ryan Mountcastle under 1.5 total bases. The last play that we're looking here is this Michael Busch play, over or under 0.5 total bases. Looking at what we're getting from Daily Grind Fantasy, we see Michael Busch here at over 0.5, coming in at 53.82. Again, all of these books coming in at roughly minus 135. 4 books are coming in at minus 135. 2 of them are off at minus 150. Fliff is the outlier again there, whereas we have the minus 137. Pretty close to what we have here. So again, another minus 138 average odds play. So if we go back over here to Daily Grind Fantasy, we go ahead and hit that more, and then we go back over here to Outlier and see what we are getting and how he's performed. Looking over his last 10, he's hit this in 5 out of his last 10, only 1 out of his last 3, and 2 out of his last 5. However, but if we look at kind of how he's done versus right-handed pitchers, he's done very, very well, right? Average 261, 354 batting average for balls in play, which is very good for him. Now, Lopez is a very good pitcher, but we can see here that he struggles more so versus left-handed batters. He has a total ERA of minus 153 on the season, but versus left-handed batters, we see that number drop down to a 255, so not too well. Batting average, though, 205, dropping down to a 215, so nothing really there. So he's allowing a lot more extra base hits to these left-handed batters, right? So again, very good batter there. A lot of variance in what we are getting. So if we go ahead and take that over there on Michael Busch, that goes ahead and kind of files out all of these. So anyways, guys, these are my top 3 MLB picks. That is a very good way of using Daily Grind Fantasy. So you need to make sure you're signing up for that. You can use my link in the description below. Also use the code BENCH for 25% off of your first month. It's proven to be free. Now, there is a way to use it, and that's why these videos are here. So anyways, guys, best of luck to y'all. Let's have a great Monday and cash out on these MLB plays. Anyways, though, I will see y'all tomorrow.